Up and out is a wonderful place where I've always longed to be. Among the stars is a spot reserved exclusively for me. I've always known where I want to go, but the challenge for me is clear. With all their powers, my dreams can't tell me how to get there from here. Perhaps I'll take my chances, maybe just roll the dice. I know some friends who live this way all the days of their lives. So what if life's just a gamble, an accident of fate? Then all I have to do to succeed is to be born and to wait. Up and out is a wonderful place where I've always longed to be. Among the stars is a spot reserved exclusively for me. I've always known where I want to go, but the challenge for me is clear. The luckiest gambler still can't show me how to get there from here. If success in life is chosen and failure the path of chance, then I can spend a lifetime waiting to die doing the pauper's dance. I want my life lived fully, to leave a legacy sublime. But where can a kid with great big dreams find the ladder made to climb? Up and out is a wonderful place where I've always longed to be. Among the stars is a spot reserved exclusively for me. I've always known where I want to go, but to overcome my fear, I'll carefully choose the road I use to take me there from here. Who are you, please?
Who am I? Well, you take a dollop of luck and a pinch of dance, a graceful touch, and a little romance. I'm known too much from Florida to France as the gambler, esprit de chance. I'm the agent of fortune, the master of luck. I'm the guide to your karma and your stand-in for pluck. I'm the pot of the rainbow, so you can just banish your plans and dispatch your fate to esprit de chance.
The spirit of chance. What a curious name. But why are you here?
Why does chance ever appear? Why, to take you there from here. I am your big break. So let's hurry, we must not tarry. As you know, time is my worst enemy. Come along.
Nicola! Good to see you.
I take that back. He is.
Choice. Also wise choice. I am the superior cousin to this most eager imp here. Hello, accident. Going someplace to happen?
Excuse us, please, chooser. The lady and I have a rendezvous with destiny. Good of you to show up, although rather late as usual. We shall never make fate wait because we are late. Your future is at stake.
Poet! Patience, gambler! Surely you can spare a minute to see if our progeny here has a mind of her own. Nicola, you said you want to make your life sublime. Did you mean that?
Oh, yes. You see, I know that anyone can make money. But if you don't leave a positive imprint on the culture, then what was the use of your being here in the first place?
Out of the mouths of babes.
You see, I want the highest honor imaginable. I want to become a full story in the history books, not just a footnote at the buried end of some dusty page. This is my opportunity, and I shall not let her pass.
Well said. You see, Selecto Breath, she recognizes me for what I am. Opportunity. And now, if you don't mind, we must not keep destiny waiting. Toodaloo.
Nicola, look. Up there. Those stars are like my cousin Chance. They flood the universe with trillions of tempting twinkles, yet not a single signal on how to make them useful to your success. In slavery time, your ancestors chose that one, that bright star at the top of the drinking gourd, to lead them to freedom. They wouldn't dare let chance control their lives. Are you going to now?
So what would you do differently?
He will waste your valuable time, is what he will do. Opportunity should be pounced upon. Time is her greatest enemy. Tarry, and you will be doomed to failure. He will try to convince you that you know more about fate than destiny herself, that you are the goddess of fortune. But think, my dear, then why are you here without a clue nor a single notion of what to do? From here to there to get you there. Oh, something like Shakespeare, I think, huh?
Very little like Shakespeare, tough luck. Frankly, Nicola, choice can only offer you the mastery of your own fate. With me, you will come to know whether this chance you've encountered is truly the one you seek. Chance belongs equally to everyone and to no one. She's just as likely to leave you as she is to stay. So think on that before you decide.
If I let you help me, what can I expect? Both of you. Chance?
You can take the rainbow and sprinkle it with dew. Invigorate your future with a miracle or two when you take a chance. Just when you take the chance. When you take your chance, you can leave a legacy and make the world real good. Oh, lass, I am here to offer you the pot at the end of the rainbow.
Oh, she's right. The rainbow is one of the possibilities that chance offers. But the gambler eagerly shows you what you can win, but always hides what you will lose. Here is the rest of her story.
Oh, this is hopeless. You mean I can end up like that just for taking a chance? If I can't trust my chances, where is the hope?
On the other hand, chance and me can be selfish sometimes.
Choice and me, we can be selfish, but
You see, we know some folks just like you
just like you,
who have learned to master the choices to manage the chances that shape their fate.
Huh?
Never mind. Chance and I want you to see some people who can show you how to get control over destiny.
We want to show you some real successful people who at some point in their lives were just as confused about chance and choice as you are now.
Why should I want to see them?
Look, to get what achievers get, you have to do what achievers do.
And to do what they do, you have to see what they do.
Precisely.
See, you're going to meet some folks who've had tattered chances and torn choices.
They had limited chances and narrow choices.
Even damaging chances and destructive choices. But in the face of these ugly prospects, they scrambled to success on the strength of their desire. So, brace yourself and come along.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 15th annual celebration of the internationally acclaimed Black Engineer of the Year Awards. The theme for tonight's show is Heritage by Chance, Success by Choice. Now please sit back and enjoy the tussle between chance and choice.
Tussle? Did he say tussle? You're not going to tussle, are you? Because if you're going to fight, I'm out of here.
Wait, please, look. Since we were born, people have been trying to figure out which of us, chance or choice, causes the greatest success in life. They don't always call us chance and choice. Sometimes they call us nature or nurture.
Heredity and environment.
Genetics and learning. But in all cases, they intend to set my cousin and me against each other. And frankly, it hurts.
Yeah. See, we've always been bosom buddies, Chance and me. Went everywhere together since we were born. But it is real heady stuff to be totally responsible for somebody else's success.
Or someone's failure.
So when people began to compare us, we bought into it and started to fight all the time. Now even we don't know the true extent of our roles in life, so while we did bring you here to help you, we were hoping that you could help us find our purpose in life too. Will you help us?
Well, okay. So long as you promise not to tussle, I guess I can spend a little time, especially if I'm going to learn how to make the best use of my chances. Where do we begin?
Well, by chance, we have brought together some really successful people to be recognized for their accomplishments. Now, a presenter will tell a very brief story of why the winner was chosen for the award.
Then by choice, we asked the storytellers, the winners, to tell a story. A story about one key event in their lives that got them here. See, usually people expect to hear gratitude speeches here. And these people are grateful for all the help and support that they've ever received. But we asked them for the story instead because we thought that if through your story you could inspire somebody else, then there's no better way to show greater gratitude than that.
Now, after you hear all the stories, you get to determine which of us, chance or choice, has had the greatest influence on their lives.
Yeah.
And then you'll know whom to follow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so let's begin already.
Great, because here is the first person to present the award for student leadership. His name is Marvin Bland, and he is the manager of recruiting, staffing, and college relations, and the talent czar of Eaton Corporation. Now, let me say that if...
Shush! I want to hear what he has to say.
Good evening. Clifton Martin is an electronical engineer student at Morgan State University. When Morgan State School of Engineering offered the Excel program to his high school in Baltimore, Martin jumped at the chance. Excel is an enrichment course in science, engineering, and math for inner-city students. Martin is the student director of Morgan's Saturday Academy, where technology students provide outreach services to local high school students. Under his leadership, the focus was placed on students' academic goals, and the academy grew to become the MSU Payne Memorial Saturday Academy. Martin coordinates the calculus study program and is a charter member of the Amy Tutoring Program and a student coordinator of Morgan's Office of Community Service. He graduates in May 2001 and plans to enroll in Morgan's PhD program in electrical and computer engineering. It gives me great pleasure to present the Student Leadership Award to Baltimore and Morgan State's own Clifton Martin.
I attended one of the worst high schools in Maryland, academically and criminally. I was in constant fear and learning nothing. I had doubts that I could survive 4 years there. One day, some people visited from Morgan State University School of Engineering and were outraged at what they saw. They hired special teachers, brought in computers, and created an engineering honors program. I was selected to participate, so my academic chances improved in my classes and also on the SATs. Consequently, I was accepted to many top universities. I felt real proud of myself for a minute. Then I thought, I'm going to choose the best university. I chose Morgan State. I am grateful to Dr. Carl White, Ms. Myra Curtis, Dr. Eugene DeLoach, Dr. Pamela Mack, and the entire family at Morgan State University School of Engineering for giving me an even chance to make a wise choice. They are the reason I am here today. Thank you very much.
Chalk one up for choice.
Yeah, that young man took the hand he was dealt in life and sculpted a marvelous vision of success. Wow!
Hello, who's next?
The next recognition is for a category called GEM Student Leadership. GEM stands for Graduate Degrees in Engineering for Minorities. The presenter coming here is Martin Fager, who chose to become the President and Chief Executive Officer at the MITRE Corporation. Now, I want to say...
Say silence.
Silence.
Amin Holmes completed high school with a 3.8 GPA, then enrolled to the electrical engineering curriculum at Florida A&M University, pulling 3.9 on a 4-point scale. He was junior class president, student council vice president at Tripoli, and a messenger for the Florida House of Representatives. At Florida, Amin tutored others and still found the time for Tau Beta Pi, the National Society of Black Engineers, the NASA Scholars Association. He completed internships at NASA, the Harris Corporation, Procter & Gamble, and the MITRE Corporation from Florida A&M. Holmes won the General Engineering Graduate Fellowship and the Georgia Tech President's Fellowship. He's carrying a 3.6 GPA in graduate school. During 2 summer internships at MITRE Corporation, Holmes supported a team from Telecommunications Systems Engineering Department developing voice over IP and voice over ATM technologies. He distinguished himself further by pushing for opportunities for interns at MITRE to network to maximize the benefits of their experiences. I am honored to present this GEM Student Leadership Award to Amin Holmes.
There weren't many successful black males living in the housing projects of Tallahassee, Florida, where I grew up. So my early exposure to success was limited. My high school was in Chipley, Florida, which had only that, school and TV. See, in school, I loved math and science, but on TV, I loved to watch my favorite show, A Different World. It was about a community of young black college students striving to achieve. It really captivated me. One character was a brash young engineering whiz wearing flip-top glasses, a head full of confidence. Because of him, I decided to choose engineering as a career. My engineering passions were ignited when I toured the grand halls of Congress and saw its enormous impact on the world. I decided then that my impact would be global as well. So when you're looking for opportunities, you can find them anywhere, and I'm grateful. Thank you.
Listen to that. A chance encounter of the sitcom kind. Oh, he knows that chance is just out there dishing it out everywhere.
Sounds like the sitcom just helped him make a better choice. That would be my vote at least.
Don't dimple your chads, little girl.
Who is that coming there?
That is another of my most boastful projects. He is the worldwide manager of DSP Strategic Marketing for Texas Instruments. His name is Leon Adams. Listen.
Torrance Robinson manages the university programs for the Digital Signal Processing Division at Texas Instruments. As Torrance's supervisor at TI, I know that he has a passion for education, and he strives to make DSP a fundamental part of electrical engineering and computer science education. Managing an annual budget of around $4 million, Torrance has helped establish labs in over 900 universities worldwide, including MIT, Georgia Tech, the University of Maryland, and Prairie View A&M. Also, Torrance has grown the DSP University Challenge into a worldwide student design competition, attracting more than 1,500 entrants. Pushing the education envelope even further is the Infinity Project. Developed by Robinson and Southern Methodist University, Infinity trains high school educators and students in the signal processing concepts behind the cool stuff of today: internet, wireless phones, audio-video gadgets. Few people bring more passion and commitment to education from a corporate perspective than Torrance Robinson. As such, I am proud and pleased to present this award for corporate promotion of education to Torrance Robinson.
My junior year in college, I found myself in a major predicament. That is to say, my major, computer science, was a predicament. The work was excruciating, and I wanted out. I thought, to put in today's terms, computer science was about to make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Then I remembered a story. In 7th grade, I tried out for summer basketball and thought, since I was good, I was a shoo-in. Yet, on the first day of trials, I was eliminated. That hurt. But I said to myself, you can point blame and make excuses, or you can practice and improve, but not both. The next year, I made the team. So when the time came for me to decide about my major, I had another insight. The only road to true success is paved with hard work. I chose to stick it out. I'm grateful to be a computer science major, being recognized for helping others to persevere. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, this next person is here to present the award for affirmative action. His name is Joe Johnson, and he is the Corporate Development and Transformation Officer at Mercedes-Benz USA, a choice company.
Okay. Let the man present the award for affirmative action while the two of you become affirmatively inactive.
At Raytheon, Dr. Lynn Brecker runs a department of 100 engineers building 6 major air-to-air and land combat missile systems in support of today's mobile Department of Defense. Her department has little tolerance for error, so it is remarkably gratifying to know that she is also the leading advocate for affirmative action and diversity programs in the company. Gratifying, but not surprising. You see, Lynn Brecker grew up in Alabama of the 60s and was the first in her family to attend college. She was a female math major at Auburn University at a time when that wasn't cool. She was the first woman to earn a PhD in computer science from the University of Arizona. To support the diversity of Raytheon, Dr. Brecker mounts an active recruitment campaign to find talented women and minorities to hire for her department. She goes where they are and brings them into the company as interns, and she does it early on to encourage their later hiring. She mentors, cajoles, and supports those she hires to obtain advanced degrees and training on the company's budget. It is with great pleasure that we present this award for affirmative action to Dr. Lynn Brecker.
Growing up in the 1960s in a segregated Alabama, I couldn't have imagined that I would one day teach at a historically black university. But in 1975, when IBM sent me on a faculty loan assignment to teach at Jackson State University, I had my first exposure to highly motivated and talented African American students. That year changed my life. Since that experience, I've had many more opportunities as Raytheon engineering manager and as campus manager to Tuskegee University to work with young professionals, especially African Americans, women, and other minorities in their educational pursuits and career growth. It has been a significant part of my job and a joy to my life. Harry Martin, a longtime industry supporter of Tuskegee, likes to say, through industry-university partnering, we can do the right things for the right reasons. I'm grateful to Raytheon and to Tuskegee for the opportunities to be part of something special. Thank you.
Say option, isn't affirmative action an attempt to overcome wrong-headed choices by a few to the disadvantage of others?
Yeah? So what?
Just goes to show you there are bad choices too. Proof that choices are not inherently better than chances.
Maybe not inherently better, but certainly better cultured. Take this next group. Here folks recognize that there are those who are born and raised with blatantly unequal chances. So these champions serve the communities where they work. They elevate the unjustly deprived to a position of earned privilege. They present choices that allow the despondent, the desperate, and even the despised to overcome the miserable chances that you have left them with. Shall I go on?
No.
Wait.
Let this.
Wait. I can't let him get away with just laying all that on me. When I appear to them as chance, I always present my best face first.
And what a face it is, too.
Stop. We will now hear from the spectacular-looking gentleman from Melcom, who happens to be its president. Say his name.
Ray Mayado.
And the award for community service.
Very good. Now keep still.
Thank you. I will begin with an axiom from a pretty good basketball coach from UCLA named John Wooden. He quotes, "Winners make their own luck." Vonda is a winner who is making her own luck. She is a systems engineer with the Lockheed Martin Technical Leadership Program, a prestigious program where she has opportunities for her to develop the participants' technical and leadership skills through mentoring sessions with senior management. Vonda was honored as an outstanding technology leader in the 1999 Women of Color Technical Awards ceremony for her work. Vonda's extramural work includes the vice chair of Lockheed's Network of Volunteer Associates, NOVA. Representing over 500 workers in her office, NOVA volunteers work on projects like initiating fund drives for St. Jude Children's Telethon, the Humane Society cooking and serving breakfasts for senior citizens, organizing Special Olympic basketball tournaments, and supporting the homeless shelters in the company's area of influence. As a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, Rhodes organizes Delta Diamond's tutoring mentoring program at a public housing development. She coordinates the local observances of the National Black Family Technology Awareness Week. A supreme volunteer herself, she regularly transmits her infectious enthusiasm to her co-workers. I am honored and proud to present this Community Service Award to Vonda Rhodes.
you want to be when you grow up?" asked my third grade teacher. "A lady race car driver," I replied, but I'd never seen one, so that dream was born dead. In the 7th grade, I received a D in math and was devastated. Yet my father arranged for me to study with a different teacher, and that D became straight A's from then on. I came to love science and math, but again, knew no professional women working in the fields, and another dream was deferred. And at last, in typing, I found a profession open to women that I enjoyed. One summer, my parents enrolled me in a computer class to learn to type. Instead, I encountered a computer science dream that gave birth to a profession. I've learned that the ultimate service to others is to nourish their precious dreams. Thank you.
I don't remember this next presenter, the Executive Director of General Motors Worldwide Facilities Group, but Chance must know him from somewhere.
His name is David Skiven, and he is here to recognize another person who chooses to make a difference through community service.
Thank you. Clinton Brown is Regional Facility Engineering Manager for General Motors Ohio and Pittsburgh manufacturing plants. But we are here honoring him tonight for community service beyond his workday. Brown serves as honorary chair of the alumni group for the Dayton Area Chamber of Commerce Leadership Program. He chaired the board of directors of Dayton's Urban League and served on the board of trustees of the national body. Clinton serves on the county council to allocate $85 million to community agencies and programs. His membership on the steering committee of Parity 2000, a community development think tank that promotes entrepreneurship and economic development in inner-city Dayton, is among his most cherished accomplishments. He is also a member of the West Dayton Development Trust Fund that provides funds for economic and community development in inner-city neighborhoods that have been adversely affected by mismanaged landfills. It truly gives me great pride to present this award for community service to Clinton Brown.
I was raised a poor farm boy in rural South Carolina by parents with limited schooling. When time came for me to decide my future, the status quo was not an option. Now I know I love math and science and was fascinated by mechanical things, so I decided to become an engineer. As I boarded the Greyhound bus for Hampton Institute, my grandfather asked me, "What are you planning to do?" I said, "I'm going to be an engineer, Papa." He said, "Are you planning to fly one of them there planes?" "No, sir," I said, "not that kind of engineer." From that moment until the day he died, my grandfather asked me the same question every time I went home. "Boy, are you flying one of them there planes yet?" "No, sir, Papa, not yet. But tonight I am soaring with eagles and living the dream." Thank you.
My. What a delightful story. It's simply amazing how chance comments can just linger in the heart and guide you when you least expect it.
Yeah. Raising achievers is simply amazing and amazingly simple when you take the promise of choice parenting to heart.
Here comes someone to present the award for the most promising engineer. So let's see what choice promise looks like.
His name is David Swain from the Boeing Company here, where he is Senior Vice President of Engineering and Technology and President of Phantom Works.
Tanya Cunningham joined Boeing as a senior engineer instead of the normal entry level. but she had prepared for that with dynamic internships. Interning at Ford Motor Company, Tanya excelled in engine system department. She worked on overhead cam engines, power transmission systems, and a transition encyclopedia doubling information database. McDonnell Douglas, now part of Boeing, put her to work on computerized flight simulations. Her work on a cockpit host input simulator allowed product to be built without actually installing it in the cockpit. It enabled engineers to quickly develop enhancements to the visual integrated display system used to train fighter pilots and to embed the software into the system. Tanya has worked her way through night school at the same time carrying a 4.0 average. She even coaches more senior engineers in software technologies and has won their Covenant Teammate of Distinction Award, rare for a young engineer. In January 1999, Embry Magazine profiled Tanya as one of the 6 young black executives to emulate. I am delighted to present this award to the most promising engineer, to Tanya Cunningham.
At 8 years old, I was fascinated with my Atari video game, wondering what genius made this miracle work and how. I dreamed I did. My parents added a Commodore 64 computer to my fascination. At first, I abandoned it for the more familiar Atari. Then Mom bought loads of computer magazines with software programming instructions that created more games. Wow, I was hooked. I spent countless hours debugging it. Later, I wanted a college major in this thing I loved, but never knew anyone who had gone to college. Once again, Mom collected tons of literature on different careers, and I came across a field called engineering. The die was cast. My career choice was determined by the existence of those games, dreams, and computer magazines designed to stimulate a youthful mind by loving parents. For them, I am so, so grateful. Thank you.
These stories are really moving and interesting, and these people are truly gifted. But you know, the more I sit here, the more inadequate I feel. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an engineer. I'm not even that smart. I want to be a star, but I don't know how to shine. You know what I've just thought? What if your chances are limited from the start? Then you don't get much choice. Maybe the reason I don't know how to get there from here is because you can't get there from here. To go there among the stars, maybe you have to start on the moon. Anyway, thanks. But I think I'll go before my heart breaks even more.
There's a time when I would have fallen to the end of the earth.
Baby, if you want to live it up without let out, then don't give up before you get up. Now look, you just don't know the lesson you've just been taught.
That's stupid. If I were taught a lesson, how could I not know it?
Because you gave up before you got up. These people just showed you what a good education and committed service can do. They will lift you as high as your faith. But they aren't finished with you yet. So sit down. There are others to see.
Don't give up before you get up, huh?
Now you're getting it.
Here to present the first award for technical achievement in sales and marketing is the Vice President for Customer Success and Engineering at Cisco Systems, Dixie Garr.
Joe McGee is Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer at Cisco Systems Korea. Now, he joined Cisco just 2 years ago, and he's already moving and shaking. Joe's first job at Cisco was Director of Capital Area Operations, where he and his team were responsible for sales in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. And they did such a good job that he was asked to take over Cisco's business in Korea. He and his 300-person team generates nearly $1 billion annually. Now, Joe's success did not come out of the blue. Prior to joining Cisco, he was Vice President and General Manager of Siemens Network Management Solutions Business Unit. And before Siemens, he was Vice President of Marketing and Strategy for Scientific Atlanta, a joint venture company, where he was responsible for Latin America and the Caribbean. Now, in his 15-year career, Joe has also worked for IBM, Xerox, AT&T, Lotus Development Corporation, and he even spent 2 years in the retail industry in Paris. In 1985, Joe graduated with honors, of course, from Jackson State University, and he got an MBA in 1991 from Harvard School of Business. That's right. You know what? At this rate, by the time Joe is 40, he's going to be CEO of the universe. I am really delighted and honored to present this award for technical sales and marketing to my Cisco colleague, Mr. Joseph D. McGee.
You know, I grew up on the south side of Chicago, the youngest of 8 children. My dream was to become a professional athlete. And going into my junior year at Jackson State University, I spent the summer with my sister and met several of her friends. These well-dressed and well-groomed gentlemen had wealth and property, and yet they were real down-to-earth brothers. They also had one interesting thing in common. They had all graduated from Harvard. For the first time in my life, I realized that wealthy, successful black men existed that were not athletes or entertainers. That's when I decided that I wanted to get my MBA from Harvard. Now, when I first applied, Harvard's Admissions Council rejected me. But they didn't know that my credo was, success isn't measured by the positions you reach, but by the obstacles that you overcome. I applied a second time, and I was accepted, and became the first Jackson State alumnus to graduate from Harvard Business School.
Now that's my story. If success is measured by the obstructions you meet, then I'm gonna be a major triumph.
Now, Now you're really listening. Just keep in mind that wrapped in problems is how opportunities are usually delivered.
Yeah. But wouldn't it be nice if all the great opportunities in life came packaged in gold wrappers with gorgeous red ribbons and a card that said, "Have a nice future"?
Maybe. But if that were true, what would you need choices for? There would be no need for you to because everybody would just take the first chance they were offered.
Baby, you have just deciphered my lifelong dream.
Look, here comes the previous winner of the Black Engineer of the Year Award. He's now the Senior Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of EDS Federal. His name is Albert Edmonds.
I am so pleased to be here tonight and part of this prestigious event. Honoring our African American men and women for their accomplishments and for being the best in their field is quite a privilege. Dr. Stephanie Head brings tremendous value to EDS every day. Her work ethic, coupled with her tenacity and capacity to both learn and teach, position her well in our fast-paced market. Stephanie, a proponent of working in an environment where everyone continues to learn, has created a robust infrastructure for learning within our EDS organization. She is extremely driven and pushes herself to always produce at a level above everyone else. Since joining EDS in 1999, Stephanie finished her doctorate in strategic planning at the University of Maryland while still working full-time. She created an external market view strategy manual in 4 weeks. She developed a robust intranet portal to house that manual and host thousands of other mission-critical data, and supported the capture of more than $1 billion worth of outsourcing business within the commercial sector. Stephanie really deserves the Black Engineer of the Year Award in the category of technical sales and marketing, and I'm very, very honored to be here tonight to present this award to her. Stephanie, congratulations.
One day, Mr. Falk, my third grade teacher, asked the class to give an oral report on our favorite book. I asked to give my report on the complete stories and poems of Edgar Allan Poe. He looked at me strangely, but simply said, "Okay." Given the report, I pronounced Edgar eager and must have made 100 other mistakes, but Mr. Falk never mentioned these. He simply said, "Great book." I was always demanding to do something different, but Mr. Falk always responded with a nonchalant, "Okay," backed up by constant encouragement. The respectful tone, the trusting atmosphere that Mr. Falk created allowed me the freedom to fall in love with learning. And looking back, I can see that the ability to envelop tender learners in such an environment is real special and essential for creating choices for achievers. Teachers like Mr. Falk sparked my commitment to earning a PhD in strategic planning. I'm grateful to him and all the others who have given me opportunities and encouraged me to grow. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's keep going. I'm feeling it.
By golly, I think she's got it. Here comes Major General Milton Hunter, the Deputy Commanding General of the United States Army Corps of Engineers.
And Mr. Harold Hart, the Manager of Corporate Reliability Engineering at Compaq Computer Corporation.
They are going to present the award for outstanding technical contribution in government. Listen closely. The answer to your question of how to get there from here is taking shape.
As a research psychologist, Dr. Vernal Batiste is a co-principal investigator working to figure out how to make better cockpit
displays for pilots.
This work permits federal authorities to move forward with free flight, which greatly reduces intervention by traffic controllers.
Vern established a leading laboratory for research on cockpit situational displays. In his lab, he has assembled 13 specialists from NASA and Eurocontrol and others to design prototype cockpit displays suitable for free flight, and his design has been validated by simulation exercises.
The concepts have been refined and validated during a Cargo Airlines Association flight test. Dr. Batiste also deployed a remote lab facility at United Airlines Operations Center, providing access to his research to commercial pilots and AIM scientists.
He has authored numerous peer-reviewed papers, reports, and publications in his field.
His work is on the critical cutting edge, reshaping the way aviators receive and use vital information about air traffic and air safety.
It gives us great pleasure to present this award for outstanding technical contributions in government to Dr. Vernal Batiste.
In my youth, I had as many radiant dreams as any kid. I just didn't know how to choose among them. Bowing to peer pressure, I blew off many good chances for success before I graduated high school. I barely made it out. When time came to become a man, I had no skills, little knowledge, and very few options. This was the era of Vietnam, and many of my cohorts from the projects were killed in action. I exercised my last chance before I was drafted. I chose the Air Force and became an air traffic controller. Later, I was fired by President Reagan during the air traffic controller strike, as most of you probably remember. I went back to school and studied psychology with a passion and met people whom became lifelong mentors, and finally, I acted upon my dream and became a scientist. That choice was the magnificent beginning of the rest of my life. Thank you.
Magnificent chances. I was good there.
Oh, so wise choices. I was better.
The next award is for Outstanding Technical Contribution in Industry. So I guess this means that it doesn't make much difference whether you work in government or in industry. You can excel in either. But the bigger question is just how good you want to be in the field of work you've chosen.
Now, you know that's right. You see, when you're good, you don't have to waste time choosing where to work. They come looking for you to give you the chance.
Here comes J.Z. Hokoyama, president of LEAP, the Leadership Education for Asian Pacifics. He's expanding choices for Asian Pacific Americans.
And with him is Gwendolyn Boyd, Assistant for Development Programs at Johns Hopkins University's Applied Physics Lab. She's widening chances for all.
They've come to present another award for Outstanding Technical Contribution in Industry.
Dr. Alfred Awani is a senior manager at the Boeing Company who recently joined the Executive Development Program to accelerate his leadership skills.
Before coming to Boeing, Dr. Awani was at NASA Ames Research Center, where he was principal researcher for helicopter rotors with movable lift control surfaces.
From NASA, he moved to McDonnell Douglas Helicopters, where he became the first black designer of stealth rotorcraft for the Army's LHX helicopter. Because he was breaking new ground, the rules for this project had to be written as it evolved.
Al's next big project was winning the competitive multi-billion-dollar RAH-66 Comanche, a new type of helicopter warplane. Dr. Awani led the proposal and technical development victories for the initial Boeing and Sikorsky Joint Team contract.
He then led the team to win a $3.1 billion engineering and manufacturing contract with a possible payoff of $8 billion for 1,200 new Comanches.
Al had to manage both teams to integrate new, sophisticated survivability technologies.
He was also responsible for setting up an agile production system for the Delta IV satellite launcher, affecting commercial launch capabilities.
We are honored to present this award for outstanding technical contribution to
Dr. Alfred Awani.
Growing up in Nigeria, I was fascinated by airplanes. I took every chance to rush to the airport and watch them take off and land. I was so interested in flying them, I wanted to build them. That's when I chose to become an aerospace engineer. Years later, I was flying to the United States to study when a surge of fear engulfed me. As I considered the intricate complexities of this plane I was riding on, I wondered what made me believe I could build it. I was just an ordinary college prospect. Just then, my mind rebounded to the sacrifices my parents had made to get me here. That thought settled me down. That giving me the notion that I could do it. If they could believe it, who was I to doubt it? To them, I'm most grateful. Thank you.
Oh, what a nice story.
Yeah, old fear is one of the biggest reasons folks miss great chances. Why can't more people be like him? I'm doing my part. I mean, I'm giving them all that I have.
Yeah, we know, Chauncey, we know. I mean, fear is tough. People often refuse to choose because of fear.
So then, how do you do it? How do you overcome fear?
Just like he did. See, fear is just the illegitimate child of ignorance. So to defeat him, you just fill your head with knowledge and stare fear in the face till he backs down. Fear is a lot like old Chance here. All bark, but no bite.
Choice that was neither oh so wise nor oh so nice.
Oh, but it was oh so typical. The next award is for professional achievement in government. Admiral William J. Fallon is the Vice Chief of Naval Operations for the United States Navy.
That means he's at the top of his game. He came here to present the award to one of his own.
Good evening. I have the honor this evening to introduce to you someone who personifies true American success story. Lieutenant Commander Jesse B. King, United States Navy, who's here tonight with his wife, Saru. Born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, of immigrant parents who then took him back to their native Liberia for his youth, this man returned to the United States to attend college at Alma College in Michigan, where he graduated with high honors and a degree in physics. Now, during his time in college, he was introduced to the United States Navy. Following, he attended Officer Candidate School, received his commission as an officer, and was immediately selected for the nuclear power program, one of the most demanding programs in the entire Navy. He succeeded at the top of his class, became a nuclear engineer, went to submarine school, went to the top of the class there, did a tour at sea, 3 years on a nuclear-powered attack submarine. He went to Washington for a staff job. He got inspired again, looking for higher achievement. He decided he wanted to fly airplanes, wanted to be a jet pilot. So he petitioned the Navy to do it. Now, the Navy, understandably, was kind of reluctant to do this. They just invested a ton of money in this fella to be a nuclear submarine officer. But he was persistent, and his wife helped. She pushed, and he asked. And guess what? Next thing you know, he finally got orders to flight training. And as you might expect, he aced the course, became a jet pilot, out on an aircraft carrier, flying our newest aircraft, the FNA-18 Hornet strike fighter. But wait, there's a lot more. He's deployed around the world. He's been to the Pacific, the Far East, the Indian Ocean, the Middle East. He's seen combat time over Iraq. He's currently serving as the officer in charge of operations for our newest attack fighter squadron out in California, our one and only Super Hornet outfit. And you know what? He's just been selected for the rank of commander, and he's been selected to command one of these new Super Hornet squadrons. You get the picture. I think you get the picture. This is a man that has demonstrated an ability to do just about anything he wants to do. And yet, he's chosen a profession of service to us, the American people, as a member of the armed forces. Commander King, I salute you. We're grateful to you for your service. We're really proud to have you in the United States Navy. And you know what? We want to thank you for your inspiration by the choices you've made and by your great achievements. Please join me, ladies and gentlemen, in welcoming Commander Jesse King, United States Navy.
I graduated from high school at age 16, at 5 foot 10 inches tall and less than 130 pounds soaking wet. I was the quintessential bookworm who was too scrawny to play any sports and too shy to talk to girls. I made Steve Urkel look like Denzel Washington. To compensate for my social underdevelopment, I threw myself even harder into my studies. I chose to be the best at the one thing I had a talent for, academia. I knew that perseverance in higher education was the vehicle I would ride to become the person I always dreamt I could be. 5 hours a week lifting weights also helped. Thanks.
The award for professional achievement in industry represents another step on the road to success. Here is Mr. Robert J. Stevens, President and Chief Operating Officer of our conference sponsor, the Lockheed Martin Corporation, to make this presentation.
Good evening. Anthony Thornton is a PhD aeronautical engineer who works at the threshold of knowledge, studying how airplanes, flight control surfaces, and irregularly shaped objects respond to the dynamics of hypersonic flight. As a specialist in computational fluid dynamics, he's probing the frontiers of possibility in powered flight through the development and use of supercomputers to model the conditions under which complex shapes move through the atmosphere. Dr. Thornton discovered innovative ways to broaden the workforce at Sandia National Laboratory that attracted the attention of the Secretary of Energy and imitation by private industry. He became the first black director at Sandia Labs in their 40-year history. At Lockheed Martin, Dr. Thornton developed a partnership with California State University at Northridge to lease a supercomputer and disseminate the value of computational fluid dynamics as a problem solver throughout the organization. He and his partnership won the Engineering Industrial Council's Distinguished Engineering Award 2000. I'm honored and delighted to present this award for professional achievement to Dr. Anthony Thornton.
My first job at 14 was with a janitorial service company. Early one morning, I was assigned to dust the ceiling vents in the women's section of a clothing store. Standing tiptoe atop a 12-foot ladder, I needed a broom to reach the vents. Suddenly, The manager stormed out of his office, screaming at me, "You stupid idiot. Cover the clothes first." I was embarrassed. He was right. But at that moment, another voice interrupted in my head saying, "Accept no one's definition of you but your own." Right then, in honor of the values my parents had instilled in me, I chose to ignore his definition and to define myself. This happened 1 year after we had landed a man on the moon, and I had dreams of becoming an aerospace engineer. I dropped that dust mop, and I followed my dreams. Before you tonight is that stupid idiot, still standing on tippy toes, still reaching for the sky. Thank you very much.
Wow! When you have a close encounter with a bad chance like that, you remember it.
Bad chances are not everybody's cup of tea, but they sure are powerful motivators. Look what it did for him. You know, it almost made me cry.
Wait, please.
What? You scared again?
No. Don't you hear that music? I hear music.
I can see clearly now the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the rain is gone. Yeah. All of my bad feelings has disappeared. Yeah. Here's the rainbow I've been praying for. Said it's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
You've just gotten caught up in the twirls of the dance for life. When you make good choices, it's like living in the rapture of a rainbow where all the colors are separate, but the beauty is seen in their mixture. It means you're beginning to see how to navigate between chance and choice. Soon you won't need us anymore.
Well, over the course of the career, one comes upon countless chances to achieve. So we recognize his achievements in government and industry. Alfonso Diaz is the director of the Goddard Space Flight Center at NASA, and James Pitts is Vice President of Engineering and Manufacturing for the Northrop Grumman Corporation. They'll present the award for career achievement in government.
Donald Campbell is director of the Glenn Research Center at NASA, managing 2,100 employees, 1,500 on-site contractors, and a $600 million annual budget.
He began dreaming of the conquest of space in 1960 when he was a gas turbine test engineer.
Armed with powerful degrees in mechanical engineering from Ohio Northern and Ohio State universities, Don set out to exploit his chances.
In a 40-year run, he has overseen a broad spectrum of high-tech developments, from gas turbine and rocket engine research to products that might show up in your next car.
He managed the teams that developed the solar power systems for the International Space Station,
developed new gas turbine engines for the military,
led propulsion and power systems research for the National Aerospace Plane Project,
and developed microgravity experiments for the space station.
Don helps to invigorate the dreams of the young at Cayuga County Community College, where his SEMA Academy has helped 7,000 K through 12 students strengthen math and science backgrounds.
His Mobile Aeronautics Education Laboratory is a state-of-the-art classroom trailer loaded with cutting-edge technologies to teach high school math and science.
I'm proud to present this award for career achievement in government to Don Campbell.
When I was a child, I loved to build model airplanes. As a teenager, enjoyed working on cars. Mechanical engineering fascinated me in high school, and I had the chance to work for a man who had been educated as an engineer, but owned his own company and business, and he always encouraged me to go to college, so I enrolled. As a freshman, I was undecided on a career, although I always hinted about going into engineering like my mentor. One day my roommate said, "I dare you to enroll in engineering." Now at that time there were a few minorities choosing engineering, but I was never one to back down from a challenge. I enrolled immediately, discovered that I was in the right place. This is what I wanted to do. Throughout my career, I've always been driven by new challenges which have inspired my professional success by their intrinsic rewards that they come. Thank you.
Well, let's keep going. We're on a roll. Here is Bernard Robertson, Senior Vice President of Engineering Technologies and General Manager of Truck Operations at the Daimler Chrysler Corporation. He's here to present the award for Career Achievement in Industry.
Thank you and good evening. 200 years ago, Benjamin Franklin wrote, "Hide not your talents, they for use were made. After all," he added, "what's a sundial in the shade?" Tonight I'm honored to recognize a man who most certainly hid not his talents. Don Goodwin began his career in the automobile industry by helping to improve diesel fuel systems, and successively assumed greater responsibilities in quality assurance, brake system design, emission certification, and powertrain systems. Today, as Vice President of the Scientific Labs and Proving Grounds for Daimler Chrysler, Don leads the largest group in our engineering division, with more than 2,200 people engaged in the development and testing of new Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge vehicles. As a founding member of our Workforce Diversity Committee, as well as the Daimler Chrysler African American Network, he's also engineered greater diversity into our company's technical staffs. Don continues to serve as a mentor to young engineers through his work as executive sponsor for North Carolina A&T and Carnegie Mellon universities. I'm pleased to present the award for career achievement to my colleague and good friend, Don Goodwin.
For 42 years, my father worked in automobile factories. When I was 12, he worked in the body shop, welding sheet metal parts together to form the structure of a car. Today, robots do this work because welding produces intolerable working conditions of noise, sparks, and smoke. While my father never complained about these hazards, he often yearned to be in a different area. He described it as air-conditioned offices where well-paid employees wore white shirts and ties. They occasionally helped people solve problems on the plant floor while driving new cars from home every night. I asked him what they called these people that have such an excellent job description, and he said engineers. At that moment, I decided that an engineering job in the automobile industry was the right thing for me. Tonight, I'm very grateful for my father's stories. Thank you very much.
Jack Shelby is Vice President of Engineering at Raytheon Electronic Systems.
And Dr. Carl Johnson is Director of Compound Semiconductor Technologies at Motorola. Together, they will present another award for career achievement in industry.
Clifton Jerome Charlo, or Jerry as he's generally known, is a Senior Manager of Engineering Programs for Raytheon Company's Electronic Systems business.
He manages the Titan program, an organization with 150 engineers and $200 million program to support critical surveillance and reconnaissance systems.
Jerry leads development of advanced sensors for the potential billion-dollar Triton program.
He develops key sensor technologies and reconnaissance aircraft and high-performance fighter planes.
Jerry came to Raytheon through the merger of Hughes Aircraft. Hughes charged him with the development of the advanced spy aircraft sensors. Jerry chose to focus on electrical engineering.
That began a long series of achievements critical to the national defense. In addition, Jerry brings new energy to corporate diversity.
He is an active recruiter of minority engineers at the universities of California, Georgia, Louisiana, and Alabama.
Himself the product of a broken family, Jerry becomes father, role model, and mentor to neighborhood children in need of better chance to make a good choice.
I am proud I have the chance to present this Career Achievement Award to Jerry Charlo.
As am I. My parents separated when I was 7, and I was raised in a community of broken homes. Single mothers were struggling mightily to survive while their unsupervised children ran amok. I too was faced with a future governed by easy money and low-paying jobs. I cherished math and science, but was ridiculed by my playmates as weird. When my mother told me stories of how a good education was a solid foundation to a lifetime of wealth and respect, I listened. And my dad left behind a story of how he was ridiculed for his dream to become an aeronautical engineer, but used it to fuel his passion. I desperately wanted a better life, so I made a conscious choice. If the kids wouldn't allow my dream to thrive, I just followed the dream of my dad. I became an engineer. Thank you.
Well, we've come to the award for lifetime achievement, and I must leave you. But trust yourself. Pay close attention to these next stories. Darrell Frazier is Vice President of Communications at the Systems and Information Technology Group of TRW. And John Gregg is Vice President of Research and Development in the Kraft Cheese division of Kraft Foods. Together, and with a special tribute, they'll make the presentation of the award for lifetime achievement.
Frederick Humphreys graduated from Florida A&M University in 1957 and earned his PhD in physical chemistry from the University of Pittsburgh.
Since 1985, Dr. Humphreys has been the president of FAMU, and it is one of the fastest growing institutions in the country.
When he became president, facilities, morale, and enrollment were declining. During his tenure, enrollment has doubled to over 12,000, morale is sky high, and SAT scores went up more than 300 points.
The school has excelled in new buildings and improvements too, including a $28 million engineering facility. The College of Engineering is run jointly with Florida State University and now has almost 2,000 students.
That represents 60% of the black engineering students in Florida. FAMU is the nation's second highest producer of black engineers.
This university produces more black baccalaureates than any other U.S. school. And with 62 National Achievement Scholars last year, it's tied with Harvard as the perennial leader in attracting the best and the brightest.
It's no wonder that Time magazine named FAMU the College of the Year in 1997.
Creating doctoral programs in all engineering disciplines and 34 master's programs across the university, Dr. Humphreys is an educator who has engineered a new approach to excellence.
This lifetime of achievement is truly worth crowing about. So before we call Dr. Humphreys out, let's hear a special word from Richard DeMarkey, Group Vice President for Research, Technologies, and Product Development at Eli Lilly and Company.
It's a great pleasure to represent Eli Lilly and Company in recognition of Dr. Humphreys' lifetime of achievement. Lilly's reputation as a global leader in the pharmaceutical industry is built on the discovery of notable drugs such as insulin, Prozac, Avista, and Zyprexa. Our mission of innovation requires we search for individuals with intellect, creativity, and passion about their life's work. There's no one I know who better exemplifies these leadership qualities than Dr. Humphreys. Lilly and FAMU partnered to assist one another in our respective quests for academic and commercial excellence. Lilly is delighted to share in Dr. Humphreys' mission to advance the most dynamic university for African American students. As Victor Hugo said, an invasion of armies can be resisted, but not an idea whose time has come. Dr. Humphreys continues to drive and elevate the levels of accomplishment and participation of minorities in science and technology. There are no U-turns on this road, and it's been a source of great joy, education, and inspiration to travel with him on this journey. We are all honored to present this Lifetime Achievement Award to Dr. Frederick Humphreys.
As a lad, I always dreamed of living well as a scientific intellectual. But when I was 8, my father died, so we children had to work hard to help make ends meet. My mother believed you should earn your way in life, so she avoided public assistance. Success, she said, is the reward for hard work. Just work hard and you'll be successful. While she didn't believe in accepting handouts, she never shied away from giving them. She marveled in stimulating visions and nurturing character in others. So I was not surprised when my vision of living well as a scientific intellectual took the form of developing young African American scientists and engineers. I am grateful to all of those who helped keep me sharp and alive. I owe a special debt to my mother, who never failed us.
Well, there it is in a nutshell, Nicola. There is your direction. Just get smart and work hard, and it'll take you wherever you want to go. Now, trust me when I tell you that you have to string together a lot of chances to earn a lifetime of victories like that.
I trust you, Chance. I trusted you long before I knew you. It's me I've got to learn to trust. I've never really trusted myself to make good choices. I thought you had to have some special genetic trait or you were doomed. You've helped me see that the field of play through the eyes of the victor. I know now that I can choose. You know what I think? I think that making a choice is just selecting the right chance to take you to the goal you've already set.
All right, my dear, you have always had the rhythm, but now you've got the lyrics. They're coming on strong. It's time for you to witness a ceremony that serves to pull this whole affair together. So let's you and I go ringside, because this is a sight to behold.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Robert Stevens, President and Chief Operating Officer of Lockheed Martin, will return as conference sponsor to issue the charge to the Black Engineer of the Year.
Thank you. Isn't it curious that the chance of a lifetime can be totally obliterated by the choice of a single moment? Conversely, one momentous choice can turn the most insignificant event into the chance of a lifetime. Choice giveth, and choice taketh away. In the past 15 years, this conference and celebration have done much to strengthen the choices youngsters make regarding their futures. The reign of the Black Engineer of the Year illuminates the message to young that where others have gone, there may you go also. This is the first Black Engineer celebration of the new millennium, and so our charge to the Black Engineer of the Year is simple, yet profound. May your brilliant light shine so bright that it penetrates all the dark corners of the world where ignorance and apathy abound, and lead all our children home to the font of knowledge. Dr. Jackson, Lockheed Martin is proud to team up once again with the engineering deans of the historically black colleges and universities in sponsoring this conference, and to welcome you into the fold and to wish you well.
To present the award for the Black Engineer of the Year, please welcome Nicholas D'Onofrio, Senior Vice President for Manufacturing and Technology at IBM, and Rodney Atkins, General Manager of IBM's Web Server Group.
By education, training, and profession, Dr. Shirley Jackson is a theoretical physicist.
By experience, position, and calling, Dr. Jackson is a genuine leader.
As a physicist, she serves on the Board of Trustees of her alma mater, MIT, for which she holds the distinction of being the first African-American woman to earn a PhD in any discipline.
As a leader, she's the president and CEO of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, the longest-standing technological university in the United States. She also holds the distinction of being the first African-American president.
Professional scholarship led Dr. Jackson's appointment as the first African-American to serve on the Nuclear Regulatory Commission.
Managerial leadership led to her becoming the first African-American woman appointed by President Bill Clinton to chair the Nuclear Regulatory Commission.
Dr. Jackson's scholarship sparked her contributions to AT&T Bell Laboratories when for 15 years she performed explorations into solid-state physics.
And that led to the improvements in the signal handling capabilities of semiconductor devices. In other words, she contributed to Bell Labs' lead in electronic communications. In addition to MIT, she studied in Sicily and France and lectured at Stanford University's Linear Accelerator in California and was a visiting scientist at the Aspen Center for Physics in Colorado.
In addition to serving on the MIT board since 1975, Dr. Jackson serves on the board of Lincoln University, the board of trustees and board of governors at Rutgers University, and the board of Associated Universities, which operates the Brookhaven National Laboratory and the National Radio Astronomy Observatory. In addition, Dr. Jackson joined the board of the Brookings Institution in June of last year.
As a member of the National Research Council's Committee on Education and Employment of Women in Science and Engineering, Dr. Jackson diligently promoted the advancement of women in science.
Excuse me, Nick, but promotion of great opportunity for women is actually leadership.
No, promotion of the advancement of women in science is supporting scholarship, Rod.
Nick, leadership.
Rod, scholarship.
Well, the last time I looked on the IBM organization charts, your box is higher than mine. Well, now, Nick, I think there is something we can both agree on. Dr. Jackson has continued to teach and publish throughout her outstanding career, and in 1998 was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame for her leadership contributions.
And just last year, Dr. Jackson won the National Society of Black Engineers Golden Torch Award for Lifetime Achievement in Academia. And we both know that leadership is to scholarship what telling is to teaching. You can't have one without the other.
Yep. Yes, sir. Dr. Jackson's career is a remarkable example of teaching. Now let's see an example of how she became a teller. It is a tradition for the old storyteller to offer a short retrospective of the life of our winner. Please welcome the old storyteller.
Shirley Ann Jackson's parents, George and Beatrice Jackson, were by any measure magnificent parents. The whole neighborhood of Northwest Washington, D.C. understood that if you wanted magnificent in children, you went to George and Bea. Their attitude in rearing children was, you don't make kids become somebody, you help them. You cultivate their spirit, respect their interests, and nourish their natural zeal. Now, neither George or Bea was ever a theoretical physicist or a university president, not a flourishing attorney nor a vital college dean, but they reared three girls who are. George and Bea would linger over each newborn babe and wonder aloud, what great surprise do you bring into our lives, little one? What is your fate, your special gift? And how can we help you bring it forth to flourish? Then they would put the baby down to begin the long, loving watch for the sign. When Shirley Ann, the second of their four babies, was born, George and Beatrice saw her sign instantly. For a vigilant restlessness always engulfed her. She was curious beyond measure. This child's curiosity was unusual. She wasn't just childishly inquisitive, she was a thorough investigator. Whatever it was, this child just had to touch, turn, twist, culture, cultivate, and decapitate it. And she kept a log of her explorations. But, George said to me, she then studies her catch with the eye of a trained detective. And when she has learned enough, she puts it all back together again. All praise be to heaven, she tries. Now, George himself was a human calculator and a wizard with his hands. Beatrice was the family theoretician. So she knew how to channel curiosity into action. Oh, with these two for parents, this prodigy of a child could not have been born to greater advantage. So when Shirley Ann came of age, she was perhaps the only child ever put out of the reading circle because she read too fast. But even then, she would read silently across the room and call out the answers to questions from books her friends were reading. Oh, how do you raise a genius? Huh? You teach them good values and then get out of their way and watch them soar. When she was a little girl, the children used to call her Shirley the squirrel. Now, children are remarkably clairvoyant. If you listen closely to what they call things, they'll pinpoint its nature precisely. They labeled her Shirley the squirrel because of her resolute pursuit of excellence. But why squirrel? Not because it rhymes with Shirl. No, there is a deeper, more prophetic meaning to this sobriquet. Andy Longclaw, a Native American, believed that the first secret to motivating people is to encourage the spirit of the squirrel. See, Andy's grandfather told him, works with passionate zeal because she understands how her every effort connects directly to the salvation of her world. Ah, so that's why. At MIT, Shirley Ann was called the computer. Now, the minimum basic entrance requirement at MIT is that you be a veritable wizard. The last place graduate from the lowest performing year at MIT is still thought of as a genius. So when your genius contemporaries nickname you the computer, well, not much else need be said. It is fitting that IBM submitted the nomination of Shirley Jackson for this award, for they are the home of Big Blue, that other supercomputer. So they must know one when they see one. It is also fitting that George Jackson always told his child, as you will hear her say, that she should climb to the tops of trees, for then you will understand why we named this story The Legend of Big Blue Squirrel. For the new year, 2001. For the new century, the 21st. For the new millennium, the 3rd. Please welcome our First Lady Black Engineer of the Year, Shirley Ann Jackson.
My father was a U.S. Postal Supervisor and my mother a caseworker in the Department of Human Services in Washington, D.C., where I grew up. Between them, I was well-groomed to seek the best, the most, and the highest of whatever I attempted. When I was growing up, we did a lot of projects and learning together as a family. My parents helped us to design and build go-karts and cages for mice that I used in nutrition experiments. We even designed a slide rule based on Boolean algebra. In the summer, we attended special programs, did household chores, swam and read together. From 10 years old to high school, I spent my summers collecting live yellow jackets, bumblebees, and wasps. I manipulated their diets and environments as I observed how they influenced the insect's behavior and vitality. Some didn't survive the vitality test. My father always said, aim for the stars so that you can reach the treetops. You may not hit your target, but at least you will get off the ground. This advice has helped me throughout my life. It was most especially helpful when I arrived at MIT in 1964. It was the end of Freedom Summer, a long, hot summer when racial tensions were running at fever pitch. On the campus of MIT, there were less than a dozen African-American undergraduate students when I arrived, and I was instantly isolated. Study groups would convene and routinely leave me out. After I got about my 10th A on exams, they realized what I could do, that I was as serious and committed as they. In a word, that I was good. They began to change. It was not a sudden change. Initially, people only wanted to talk about a specific problem they were having. But eventually, somewhat begrudgingly, I was allowed in. Although it took a while, some of them became my good friends. Isolation can be a serious defeat to even the most committed of academic ambitions if one is unaware of the value of her chances or unarmed as to the abundance of her choices. My father's admonition to aim for the stars let me know that the academy was the best place to equalize my chances with stern and unalterable choices. And so for me, defeat was not an option. Sometimes a veil of discrimination comes in the form of discouraging words. While I was still deciding on a major at MIT, a professor offered me a bit of career advice. Colored girls, he said, should learn a trade. Now, I pondered this advice and again thought of the choices available to me, chance and choice. Chance had made me colored. I was by chance a girl. But I was at MIT to learn. And as for the trade, well, I chose physics. And I have been trading very well in that domain for these many years. Discouraging words can deflate career ambitions only when those ambitions are not anchored in rock-solid principles. Mine were, thanks to my family, and I was able to overcome. Chance is a two-faced chameleon. She always appears as both opportunity and obstacle. The anatomy of choice is the ability to determine your fate by the selections you make. When I was faced with the options to give in to ignorance or to go on to excellence, I chose to persevere. From the moment we learn to select, from among the many chances we encounter, our lives become the sum of our choices. Doing nothing is as much a choice as is doing it all. Given that, why not aim for the stars? You may never catch one, but at least you will get off the ground. I am grateful to my parents for their sage advice. I also want to thank Marie Moss Smith, my high school math teacher, who has inspired me along the way and who taught me so much. I am grateful to Ted Childs at IBM, who nominated me, and to Tyrone Taborn and the Career Communications Group and the engineering deans for having had the courage and the foresight to shine light on those who have been reaching for stars without recognition for centuries. And I thank you for the delightful and warm reception. And I say to you, may all your chances be blessed and all your choices be wise. Thank you very much.
You've certainly given her some marvelous choices.
Selected from your magnificent chances, but I don't know.
Up and down is a wonderful place where I've always longed to be. Among the stars is a spot reserved exclusively for me. To reach your spot among the stars, the stories have made it clear. You take every chance to make every choice, then chase a black engineer.